Hey, welcome. This is Hillary Baggett, founder of Community Bloom, and we are meeting our founding members and introducing them to each other and to the rest of you because future members might want to know, well, who's in there if I want to join? So, a big welcome. Andrea Marsh is the owner, founder of Cotswold Menopause. She's coming to us from the UK. You will hear her accent. She has the beautiful Cornish sun-kissed look about her from Holiday. And I'm so glad you're here, Andrea, because it's September. Finally, people are finishing up their holidays. If they have children, they're getting them into school and getting them settled. So I'm so glad you're here so that we can learn more about you, what you offer, and how you got started. So tell us a little bit about you.
Well, I've been a shiatsu practitioner for 20 plus years, and my interest in energetic therapies and how they can help you physically and emotionally has actually been in my life now for 30 odd years because I started with myself. I first found a cranial osteopath for an issue that I had. I had a spinal issue, and it just continued on from there throughout my 20s when I realized my osteopath made me burst into tears one day, and I cried for about 3 hours, and he thought he'd broken me. But I was like, I know I'm bawling my eyes out, but actually it feels really good.
Really good. Yes,
and,
yes.
and that was when I first started making this connection of actually doing physical therapy does something for us emotionally. And I was probably about 23, 24 when that happened, and that was when I started getting into and understanding, the energies of the body way before I even thought about women's health. I kept it very generic. um
Wow.
but and then that led me to the shiatsu, which for me encompassed everything I ever wanted to do. Helped me physically, helped me emotionally. I was actually going to go and study psychology, but I felt no need once I found Chinese medicine, the theory of Chinese medicine, and it's being completely holistic, completely mind body all as one. So there's no need really for Western psychology. um,
Right.
and it's a
Wow.
lifestyle thing as well. So if you live your life through the theory of Chinese medicine, you get a lot healthier and a lot happier.
Right. Wow, that's really amazing. So when I hear shiatsu, sometimes I just think of the massage technique, but can you explain just a little bit for clarity?
Yeah,
Because
I
it
mean,
encompasses so much more.
it does, and I've expanded in explaining to people because shiatsu is just Japanese for finger pressure, but it can encompass so much. So I like that simplicity of it. But it's the tip of the iceberg. Because when somebody comes in for a treatment, how do you know which acupoints to press? Because some people say to me, it's like you barely did anything, but I'm a different person. And that's the iceberg element of Chinese medicine. I'm 20, 30 years on, and I probably don't even know 1% of Chinese medicine. It is vast. It's vast. But it's how the body works, mind and body. And I think if you keep it simple, it can be more effective. Otherwise, you could just go down a rabbit hole and get lost in, in the gigantic books. They're good for reference, for the more complex cases. But so shiatsu is just a way of pressing the acupoints.
Okay.
It's how we string them together to create a nice flow. So I say to people, the very least is you'll leave feeling relaxed because it's tapping into the parasympathetic nervous system, and the speed
Right.
that I go at can slow you down, clear the mind. You go out more relaxed and less stressed. I love it when people go in, I never relax. And at the end, they're going, I think I was falling asleep. What did you do? Um, so that's the
Right.
shiatsu, the physical element of the treatment. But
Mm.
I encompass so much more. I encompass the theory. If people coming in with relationship problems, you can apply the 5 element theory to understanding why you and your partner are butting heads all the time and how to see them differently. So the
Wow.
session encompasses a lot, but they also get a fantastic physical therapy. But they might get
Well,
some relationship counseling or life coaching,
wow.
supplements, essential oils, you name it, whatever it's required to create a holistic wellness solution.
Well, I want to book a ticket over and have you work on me and learn from you. That's really amazing. Where did this passion originate from?
Well, I suppose I got passion on two levels. One is for me, myself, and then the second one, obviously, is when I got into the menopause stuff. But the original passion was really, I saw how members of my family were treated by our National Health Service and the lifelong negative effects of that. And I was just did not want that to be me. I was like, if there is a way of resolving any of my physical issues, if there's a way of keeping me mentally healthy, and doing it all without cutting the body open or taking something toxic, that was my initial thoughts and passions. But then much later on, of course, I hit the menopause. Or the perimenopause, I should say, technically. And
Or it
that
hit
is
us. I'm not sure.
yeah. Oh yeah, boy, oh boy. I didn't realize it was happening to me. I knew I'd left because, obviously for quite a while I was still in a mainstream job. I was in a computer software, and
Oh,
I had a 15-year very stressful career in that. And when I left that and boxed it all away, I thought, I'm a holistic healer now, everything will be fine. And then I got worse. Because my body was exhausted. And by 45, I'd hit the perimenopause and thought, right, well, I was pleased actually, because if I'd taken my list of symptoms to the doctor, I would have been offered antidepressants. And as you know, I wasn't going to go there. So when I actually found out all these symptoms were actually something called the perimenopause, it was a new word to me. I was like, okay, turn to my Chinese medicine books. How do I fix it? Problem is, you don't have perimenopause or menopause in Chinese medicine books. You have to work a little harder because they don't really have it out there. And that began a 6-year research and test and observations and culmination. And now I'm really pleased to say I can really help women turn their whole health around at this time of life. Yeah.
I love that. And I really wish you were in my life 5 years ago. When I lived in Germany, I could have made it over to you too. But, we don't know what we don't know. And
No,
that's really
exactly.
the challenge. And
Yeah.
I think that's where our hearts are really aligned. I also practice craniosacral therapy, and I
Yes.
also do somato-emotional release and helping people move through those emotions that are trapped in the body that again kind of block
Powerful.
those flows,
Yeah.
but a different perspective. But our heart to serve women and to help them is really a commonality. And that's what's special inside Community Bloom is that we are all serving our people, but we also need that support. And how do we spread our messages? And it's by kind of connecting and coming together.
Yeah,
Wow.
absolutely. Yeah. And that's the thing. We can all tap in, we're tapping into the same things, you and I. We're doing it with different modalities and maybe different personalities, and we'll draw different clients to us. But actually the basis of what we're kind of sorting out in the body, we're probably very, very similar.
Right. Wow. Well, I love that. And then I learned about you that you've already written a book, and it's called Understanding Your Menopause, but it's got a special layout. Can you explain a little bit about your book and the layout? Because I might need to order that.
Yeah. Again, I'm always inquisitive. I'm always curious. Why can I help women resolve some symptoms and not others? And again, turn back to the Chinese medicine, and then you get these aha light bulb moments, and then you get to a point go, I've got to tell women about this. You start doing talks, and then women say, is something written down? So I kind of created a course, and then brain fog got in the way for everybody, and they said, can you just put it in a book? Then COVID happened, so I was like, okay, I'll put it in a book, and one thing led to another, and it's now available on Amazon. uh, in America too.
Exciting. And it's called
um
Understanding Your Menopause,
it
right?
is.
Okay.
So hot flushes to me were a mystery, as they were to most of the medical world. It's there's a lot more understanding of it now in 2022 than even there was in 2020. But what I'd worked out was you had to resolve all the other symptoms, and then hot flushes went away. So I never tried to resolve hot flushes. I resolved the other symptoms. I went, oh, thank heavens, hot flushes go away. I now understand why. But it's hot flushes are probably the truest menopause symptom. And they are, again, using an iceberg analogy, they are the tip of the iceberg, but you've got to resolve everything that's hidden underneath for hot flushes to go away. So then we can start resolving symptoms in an order. And I can get rid of night sweats tonight. So we start there. And if we get rid of night sweats, we start improving your sleep. And then we break down sleep and we start resolving each component of sleep, because they're broken down in the Chinese medicine clock by 2-hourly segments throughout the night. So each segment is a different issue. We resolve those. And as we start resolving these things, it's a domino effect. I'm not saying all of this is overnight, depending on the state of your body and your amount of stress. For some women, it can be a 6-month turnaround. But on average, you get women feeling better in about 28 days and symptoms far, far less. So I got to the point where I put it in a book and I said, you can do it in about 8 weeks. Then when COVID hit, I was like, I wonder if we could do it in 4 weeks. So I took a trial group of women through a program, a group program, and was amazed, utterly amazed, that after 21 to 28 days, they were just like, where have my symptoms gone? I'm just a different woman. So
Oh my
it's tried,
goodness.
tested, practical, natural, and it works.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is really amazing.
Yeah, it
And
is. I still am gobsmacked every woman that tells me it works. Because sometimes we think we're pretenders. But another woman goes, I followed your book. I'm so much better.
wow. Well, I know what I'm doing after this interview is over for sure. And I mean, in 28 days, and it's all natural.
Mm,
That's incredible. So, no hormone replacement, no antidepressants, no
nope,
anti anxiety.
nope. Healing the body.
Wow. That's truly amazing.
Yeah,
Wow.
because
So,
it's understanding what the root causes are. We've got a lack of nutrition in the body, we've got excess of toxicity in the body, you've got an unhappy gut, you're too stressed. Once we start working on all these pillars of your health, the symptoms go away. That I say to people, your symptoms are your body crying out for help. It's just not necessarily pain. Brain fog is a massive symptom, but people don't think it's a pain that I need to help go away.
wow.
And
Wow.
that's the way, to me, symptoms are pain. Let's resolve them.
Wow. And do you have like kind of a tip on, hey, if this is brain fog, here's the first thing to change? Or,
Oh, there's quite a lot of things with brain fog, but one of the biggest issues for women is they are depleted in nutrition. So the brain is crying out for magnesium, omega-3, and don't forget all your vital vitamins and minerals.
hmm,
Um, and there's lots more, but I just, the starting point with any woman is when they're on the floor, they're tired, they can't think straight, they can't see the wood for the trees, they're crying. These are all symptoms that in Chinese medicine are to do with depletion. It's called kidney energy, but we'll just call it depletion. Something's missing from the body. We have to add stuff in. Of course, you want to do it with food. Of course, you do. Start eating your vegetables.
right.
But supplements are that turbo booster to really start getting you back on your feet quickly.
Well, how do you choose? I think for me it's overwhelming. If like, okay, I need to take some magnesium and some omega 3s or omega 369 depending on, but how do you tell
How do you know
people
it's
where to go?
Yeah. Well, do you know what? A part of my 6 years, about 4 years of my 6 years were battling supplements. First of all, I was not a believer. I was the worst supplement taker 6 years ago. Now I'm, oh my gosh, actually, they work. My main piece of advice is they've got to be plant-based because this makes it bioavailable to the body. So you want everything to say it's whole food or it's bio food. And they're going to be not white. They are not going to be necessarily solid. They're normally in capsules. So basically, if you get a brown, smelly capsule, you're probably on the right path to the right supplement because it's going to be like a compost heap sandwiched in a capsule. And your body will take that and it'll be like taking 100 vegetables that day. And
Okay,
your
so
body
if it's
goes, oh my
white,
gosh, thank you. That's what I've been
okay.
waiting for. She's feeding
Okay.
me.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
So it needs to be plant-based, it needs to be a whole food, it needs to be not white, and it needs to be, you said, not in a capsule. Is that what I
No,
heard?
it needs to be in a capsule because basically they've just condensed and powdered a lot of vegetables, so it is in a capsule.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The only
Okay.
one that's truly white is magnesium. But
Okay,
again,
so if magnesium is white, it's okay.
yeah. But
Okay.
another top tip is look at the ingredients and never ever buy anything where the first ingredient is calcium carbonate because you're just buying and swallowing talcum powder.
Okay.
So a lot of the
Okay.
high street stores that you can just walk into will sell you supplements with bulking agents. The really good stuff. You have to go online. I do have an international supplier that I use. They're just down the road from me, and it's actually a science-based charity
Oh,
and called Cytoplan. Just anybody who's watching this, just contact me. I give you a free supplements guide because I actually want you to spend your money on the right stuff and not the wrong stuff.
yes.
Um,
I'm signing up. I'm like, really,
I'll send you the guide.
this is helpful. Well, I do have a little selfish question. The two
Mm,
hour block, back when I had my gallbladder removed, I
oh,
think it was about the 2 to 3 a.m. was like
yeah.
the gallbladder liver. So what's the 3 to 4 or 3 to 5, or is it in even numbers? How does that
Yeah,
work?
it's funny. It's an odd numbers, but then of
Yeah.
course you have summertime, which scrambles everything. Technically, gallbladder is 11 till 1 a.m. and then liver is 1 till 3 a.m. But yeah, having your gallbladder removed, that's an interesting one. It's one of the main questions I always ask when somebody comes into my therapy room. So then round about the 4 a.m. mark, we in Chinese medicine, it's lung, but actually the nearest thing to it in menopause is nervous system.
Oh,
So it's that waking up, the swirling mind, can't get back to sleep, thoughts are really dark, and the brain goes to really bad places at 4 a.m. And it's nutritional depletion. So the body is so depleted in essential vitamins and minerals that it won't let you sleep in case you don't wake up. That's the simplest way to look at it. Um,
wow.
for
Wow.
me, when that happened to me, I was very lucky that the first night I took magnesium, I slept, and that really got me on the path of, oh my gosh, I think supplements work. Um, so I must have been nutritionally pretty good, and then I just needed to add in some extra magnesium. And I was eating a lot of magnesium rich foods, but it wasn't until I took some magnesium that my sleep just came back like that.
Well, sometimes absorption, right? We think we're doing all the right things, we're eating all of this, but if our body is not getting it in its right quantity and system and what it's pairing
Yeah.
with to bind so we can really absorb it.
Course,
Wow.
and then I'd go into gut health as well because probably my gut health wasn't good. um yes, there's lots of things to go into, but for
Oh,
some
amazing.
women it's just start taking care of yourself, and I point you in the right direction to do that.
Yeah. Wow, that is so much information. I love it. Is there anything else you would like the founding members or future members to know about you?
Gosh, I don't know. I feel like I'm flying the flag alone in the UK sometimes. Just reach out and say hello. I find that it's finding people who are open-minded to all of this. We're so brought down by the Western medicine is the right way when it's only 200 years old at best. Whereas you and I deal in modalities that are more like 5,000 years old.
Right.
And it's trying to get
Very.
that back into mainstream.
Wow. Well, I think we could write a book together,
That'd be good.
and that would be really fun as well. Well, Andrea Marsh, I'm so thankful you are one of our founding members, and I so appreciate you being here and your wealth of knowledge. As soon as we stop recording, I've got more questions for you. So
Okay.
you are amazing. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for inviting me in today.